You're listening to 182.3. Care what people think.
All right, dude, I'm kind of burnt out. Let's just not do this episode. You cool with that?
Yep. I got here
And
for
that's
nothing,
how
man.
you do not do anything with coping with burnout. That is not how you approach this. Instead,
Shit, I thought I didn't.
What? It was a
I
joke.
Did,
You didn't go
I didn't know
along
you
with
were
it.
recording. I didn't know you were recording. I was just.
Yeah, we're going for it right now, and we're gonna do this thing because we're not burning out. Isn't that right, Will?
I don't know if that's how burnout works.
Well, I analyzed myself. I realized I had symptoms, and I'm pushing through. So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Care What People Think podcast. I'm Ryan, and as always, I'm here with my co-host Will, who is giggling in the background. This podcast is all about diving into the relevant topics in our day-to-day lives, like the topic today of coping out with burnout. And I think we put a little fun twist on it, as I did at the front. Still giggling, bro. Is still giggling.
Bro said coping out with burnout.
Did I actually?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Started rapping mid-sentence.
I'm not gonna lie. I am a little tired and not burnt out, but a little tired. Before we jump into anything today, we do start with what we're most proud of from the week before, and that is my turn this week. So, personally, this is going to be a lot about like my moving process to the Charlotte area in North Carolina, but I've been researching places to live, and hopefully at this time of this released podcast episode, I have found a place to stay. And when this releases, I should be on my way over there, meaning that you and I, Will, are going to be about a 3-hour time zone difference away. Isn't that crazy?
That's I just realized. Yeah, that's an L.
Yeah, and so that means when you're waking up, I'm going to bed. So I'm gonna text you good morning right before I go to bed. So either way, yeah, no, I'm honestly just really happy with how things have turned out with like my move, and a lot of like all the puzzle pieces are coming together. So I'm really thankful for that, and yeah.
Well, that's cool. I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't realize that there was gonna be a 3-hour difference, because now when your boy gets off work, bro's gonna be going to bed because you go to bed earlier. So hopefully that doesn't make us burn out. Sorry, I couldn't think of a joke.
Okay.
I could.
Hopefully you're not coping with burnout. See how I said it right that time?
Cope out. No, I'm cope outing with burnout.
Co-op burnout. Multiplayer co-op burnout.
Man said, is that a game?
No, it's just like co-op, like multiplayer.
No,
co-op.
that's not, burnout sound. Damn, I think I'm tired too. That sounded like a video game. I don't know why I had fucking what's the Fox game on GameCube. I had that in my head when you said burnout.
I thought you were saying, what does the fox say? So I was on a completely different wavelength.
Oh, okay. Just too tired. Idiots.
All right, well, talk about coping with burnout.
Okay, so how to cop with burnout. Basically, obviously, if you haven't, that actually could be some people. Oh, shout out to everyone listening on a fucking speaker, because look at our little analytics type beat. Apparently, a lot of you guys listen to this episode on in Alexa or some other speaker.
Hey, that's my girlfriend's name. What do you mean by that?
Oh,
I'm just kidding. That's not my girlfriend. But imagine like a straight up girl named Alexa just like open her mouth and like the Care What People Think podcast came out of it, and that was on our analytics. Imagine. That would be so cool.
Well, if you haven't experienced, and you're listening, you haven't experienced burnout, it can happen. Most likely will happen to everyone at one point or another, especially creatives. If you're a creative, you like painting, sculpting, drawing, photography, videography, video editing, whatever, web design, bro, I don't know. You're going to just reach a point of burnout where you're like, I feel like everyone has kind of this idea and notion of what burnout is, where it's like, oh, you just got to push through, and like, it sucks. Like you won't want to be motivated. I feel like it's a lot larger than being unmotivated. I'm going to ask you if you've kind of had I guess, recent experience with burnout, but like I feel obviously the most important thing is to push through because you'll be appreciative that you push through whatever you may be burnt out in. But I personally got hella burnt out. Like I've never been kind of pushed
Wait,
more
did
to
you
the
just ask
edge.
me a question and then just answer it? What just happened?
No, no. I'm
Bro
gonna
just said,
ask.
"Have you ever been burnt out?" And then just goes, "I'll take this one. Thanks, appreciate it. Awesome." Yeah, well, actually, last week at the grocery store, it just hit me. I was just searching for a cucumber,
Okay,
and
you know
then
what? Yeah.
I was just,
What? Okay.
I thought
Okay.
that's where you were
Have
going
you
with this.
No, no. Have you have you ever experienced like intense burnout? Because
You know,
I was going to say
okay, I'll actually keep it short and sweet, but like college, my senior year, yes. And the reason I say that is because I was taking too many classes and I was doing my serving job and just a lot of like stress in my life. And I don't think I was really doing the stuff that I really wanted to do either. So like I didn't have purpose in some of those things. And it just felt like it was a task. It wasn't like I'm living, I'm just like surviving. So I was very emotionally exhausted, had a lack of motivation, like I said, and these are the exact signs, which I'll get into later, about burnout. So, um, Will, do you have any experiences with burnout? All right, no, I'll
Well,
take
it's
this one. All
crazy.
right, thank you so much. All right.
No, I was gonna ask you also, like with like having burnout in the last year of college, what were ways you kind of handled it? Like, was there thing like you're from Colorado? Did you go on hikes? Did you go walk a golden retriever or a yellow lab to the park? Did you drive your Subaru around? Did you go rock
No
climbing?
way, bro. Just
Um,
said Subaru.
I'm
No way.
I'm running out of Colorado stereotypes. But did you do any of
Did you
those?
smoke weed? Did you put up
Oh
a
yeah, go
hammock?
skiing. Go
Did you go
skiing. Do you go
skiing?
slacklining?
Yep, exactly. I was gonna say that too. Wow, nice, good one. No, I will say I'm gonna reveal an activity that I use, and I will share it with everyone at the end, a little
Okay.
bit closer to the end. But that was actually for a different time I've burnt out. So I will actually tell you, I resorted. I just said resorted. No, I resorted to going outside and just touching grass. Honestly, no, it was actually like
Bro
spike
touched
ball.
grass.
It was actually
Oh,
spike ball.
I re- that actually makes a lot of sense because Ryan really went through a phase of like really playing spike ball all the time, which was cool. I don't know if you know this. I got a spike ball set and I brought it to college, and no one wanted to fucking play.
Well, yeah,
What's
but
that
tell them how
about?
many people were at your college. It was less than 4, so
1,200. Okay, yeah.
you can't
Yeah,
even
I
play
mean,
spike
true.
ball with 3.
Well, so I'm asking that just because, like, my experience with the burnout, like I was, originally stealing your question for. When I was in college, I was kind of putting YouTube on the side, and I was doing just streaming on Twitch because I ended up finding kind of like an audience at that point, and I was streaming over and over and over, and I really don't know how I was streaming as much as I was. I was streaming like 6 hours after school, like 3 to 4 times a week, and then sometimes on the weekends. A lot of the time on the weekend, actually. And yeah, nope. I just wanted to not do anything, and it was beyond just I'm not motivated because like we've kind of talked about the difference between motivation and discipline. You can say you're not motivated, but discipline comes first. And it's like, no, I know I don't want to do it right now, but I will do this. Bro, burnout
Mhm.
is like fucking both. You like discipline and motivation are little stick figures, bro. You just yoink both of them and just
No, not
beat
even
them the
just
fuck
yoink
up.
them. You just
That's
put
just
them up your butt, dude, and then they just
oh,
like go up through your throat and then rip out everything
what
in
the
between you. No, yep, you heard me. That's how graphic it is, dude. It
that's
genuinely
burnout.
feels Yeah, it genuinely feels like you don't want to move and you don't want to leave your room and you just feel tired in every aspect of your life.
Yes, and you said a word that or a key phrase which I think is important is you said you had a loss of purpose like which is exactly what I felt because I was like I know I want to do YouTube or content creation somehow but why am I not fulfilled anymore by doing streaming or doing whatever. So I ended up taking like a 2.5 week break, which made me feel better. But there was other problems going on realistically in college, based on one who I was surrounding myself with. That was a huge contributor to why I was just feeling bad.
Hmm.
And then there are other aspects, but the loss of purpose is huge, and I think I I think there are. I mean, you ended up going outside. That's a great place to start because the sun is everyone's best fucking friend. Outside is everyone's best friend. If you literally feel shitty and you go outside, you literally get vitamin D. You get nutrients from. I don't know if
You
vitamin
also maybe
classifies
sweat.
nutrients.
Maybe you're like, like not looking at a screen, hopefully. Like, there's just so many pros of going outside. So you're so right about that. It's an initial hit of amazingness that when you walk out the front door, it really is. It's awesome. So,
Yeah, so I was gonna say any tips for anyone that is having. I don't want to sound like this is the solution to all your problems if you're burnt out from your job that you never liked in the first place. But these help. Obviously, take breaks when you can. So whether that's more frequent breaks, like if I'm at work and I just worked on some one project for like 2.5 hours, I'll maybe take like a 10 to 15 minute break, either journaling. That's another good one. That actually is a separate point, but like I could either journal, or I could end up watching like a video while I'm eating a snack, just taking a little break, or you can take prolonged breaks, like for a couple weeks, like I did when I was. When you're having a burnout in your career, it's really fucking tough because then you're like, why am I not satisfied or fulfilled anymore? Because I like what I'm doing. I feel like getting burned out at something you don't like doing is a bit easier to justify because it's like, oh, I don't like it anyway. I have to because it makes me money or whatever. Um,
yeah.
but
Hopefully,
and
you are able to pick up hobbies on the side that, like, at least make you happy outside of work. That's like
that was
one
the
way to
point.
look at it. But there you
Yeah.
go. Sorry, I took it right out of your mouth. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's another point is like trying new things, learning new things. Like learning that I like going to the gym. That is really cool. I didn't actually know about myself.
Episode 18.
Um
Trying new things, getting out of
bro,
comfort zone. Boom. Sorry. I'm just saying we do have a full episode on that if you are experiencing burnout. I think it's a great episode to check out if just
it's
saying.
just funny because Ryan has to go through the episodes to find clips. And so every topic is like mapped out in his mind of like, oh, you talked about this literally 4 episodes ago, Will. So shut the fuck up because we're gonna be
Yeah.
able to clip it and put it on Instagram. So we don't actually care.
We already have that clip from the last 3 weeks. We've said the exact same thing since week 3, dude. What the hell are we doing? Yeah.
Yeah, we start the
Anyway.
episode and we end it with chase your dreams, reach your goals, just do it. We just be turned into Nike. We should be sponsored by Nike. That's how every episode ends.
Just
No,
do
Ryan,
it and overpay for shitty sportswear. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, keep going. I'm an
What an
Adidas
ad
guy,
read.
so sorry.
Oh my!
Nike
I forgot he
sponsor us if
is.
you're listening. I love you.
Guy. One that I feel like is overlooked, I guess. But can be tough if you're more in a new area, I would say. But hang out with people as many as you can. I know Ryan loves hanging out with friends, playing spike ball. Just being outside with friends is a huge, boost. And it does suck when you move, which is going to be interesting to see how Ryan moves to North Carolina because he's going to be completely out of his realm of like anyone he knows, and he's going to have to literally. I feel like you're going to understand the actual struggle of literally meeting new people and friends because I've been out here. I've done a
Well,
bunch of different methods, which I talked about in the Making New Friends episode, which was episode 9. So I don't even need to talk about that.
you want to know why? No way. No
It actually
way.
is.
No,
It
it's
actually.
it actually is. I was gonna say
Oh shit! It's not.
wait,
Damn
making new
it.
friends?
Making New Friends.
Making
Episode
new friends,
7.
episode
Shit.
7.
Oh,
Timestamp
okay.
1347.
No. Damn it.
No, but actually, the reason why, maybe a couple months ago, if you told me that, I would have felt a little anxious and stressed about it. But again, I have like thought about that, and like I have never been out of my comfort zone to that extent. But I also in my mind have planned for that and really accepted, hey, I might not feel at my best all the time, but how am I going to approach it? So how am I going to get out of my apartment? How am I going to meet people? So stuff like meeting like or joining soccer teams, joining gyms, joining outside of work activities with coworkers. Like there are plenty of ways to like get my name out there, like really get out of the apartment and I hope that works. That's my approach right now, but that's what's keeping me at ease. And I would say that's one of the biggest factors right now mentally is
It's gonna be tough. I'm just giving
yeah.
you a little heads up. I think I
Yeah.
said it in
Yeah.
the episode because I literally put posters up essentially saying, "Hey, I want friends." someone be my
Yeah,
friend, and that
but
didn't
you know
work.
what's tough about your like I will say it's a little bit of a different circumstance because California, in my opinion, it feel
Here we go.
this sounds crazy. This might
Here,
actually be
here.
kind of crazy, but like a lot of people out there like just don't feel as genuine. If that makes
Oh
sense.
my! You insulted my state. Get out of here.
Timestamp 1517 episode 23. Is that where
That's not
everyone from
really
California is?
Colorado. Oh my. Yeah,
Everybody's gonna tune in.
that's not really Colorado of you. Coloradans are supposed to be so fucking nice because they smoke weed all the time. What the
Joke's on
fuck was
you.
that?
I'm
You
I'm
make
in
fun.
Wyoming recording this. Just
It's
kidding.
basically the
No, I'm
same
in
fucking
Colorado.
state. It's square.
It's not a square, it's a rectangle.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
buddy.
no, the reason I say that though is because like I feel like a lot of the people out there, at least from the people I've even talked to online and work related, like seem really like open and willing to like make friends. And currently they're going through a huge hurricane and there are a lot of problems out there, which is very sad to see. But everyone seems to like be helping each other out, being a community, and it really just shows me that like that place is somewhere I think I can make some really good friends. So I'm very optimistic in that way. I'm looking at like my move and everything. So um, yeah, do you have anything else to add about that, or you're just thinking Ryan's gonna fail and he doesn't know it?
No, it's definitely a learning experience though, because like for example, I tried go. I swear I said this and I've repeated myself, but like I tried signing up for a soccer league. I ended up signing up for it. Everyone was not. I didn't want to sign up and be with like pros because obviously I'm not that good and I'm not out of shape or I'm not in shape. But
That's
like,
true. You're
bro,
shit.
I
Sorry.
just my point is I just wanted to be around people that give a shit and they don't pay for the season and then show up to 2 games out of the entire season. Like, why the fuck are you even playing then? And then also people at my job are just I had to literally ask my dad like how he bonded with people at work when he had like a cubicle based job. And do you know what he told me? He told me the most fucking 80s, 90s. I didn't even ask him. I asked my grandparents. They literally said the most fucking 80s, 90s answer
They
ever.
probably said, "Hey,
Oh,
tune in to
well,
episode 7, Making New Friends on the Care What People Think podcast." All right.
I know I need to stop talking about this point, but the I mean it's important. Literally the thing they were saying was, "Oh, well they would go down to the bar like every Friday and like hang out for 2 hours." And I'm like, "Dude, that sucks that it's normalized where you have to meet people by doing drugs. That's lame." And that's why making friends is hard, especially outside of school, because most of the time you make friends from hobbies you're in, which you either get put in when you're a kid or through school or whatever. But doing it as an adult is just okay. Yeah, now I'm just a broke record. There's an episode for that.
No, but
But
it
I'm
is
excited to
true.
see
That
you.
actually is a great point
Right.
because, like, I mean, I've already established with like my very close friends, so like you and a lot of my other guy girlfriends, whatever it is, that I don't need to be drunk around you guys to have a good time, and I think that goes both ways. So, but meeting people, like you said, like being in a social situation where there might be alcohol or marijuana involved or whatever it is, just to like cool down the brakes and really get to know someone, it's very socially acceptable. So I don't think that's a bad point at all. So, um, by the
Yeah.
way, your point of just like giving actual tips, I wrote down basically the exact same thing, and
No way.
I just want to like read through it almost as a list. I kind of came to
Yeah.
the conclusion this is how I focused on things. I also took from like the internet to give like genuine tips. But so, first off, recognize the signs. That sounds kind of stupid, but the signs are emotional exhaustion, lack of motivation, increased irritability, and feeling disengaged from work and life. So, yeah, just being in that like weird state of life, right? Once you recognize that, you set boundaries with work. You focused on rest and recovery. So that's just like fully taking yourself away from like the stressful part of your life, if we're saying that's work, and being open with yourself, coworkers, bosses, whoever it is in your life, to yeah, just focus on rest, right? um, my fourth tip was practice mindfulness and stress reduction techniques, and that is something a lot of people struggle with. But again, I'll get into that actually because I have a little activity at the end. um, 5 is
Was
finding your purpose and meaning in work. 6 is prioritizing self care. 7, talking to someone. And 8, reassessing your workload. So it's basically just this circle. So if you ever get stuck and you realize, okay, I have some symptoms and signs of burnout, right? Like, what am I going to do? Well, okay, recognize it and go through the list. Really, like, and really focus on, hey, what is stressing me out? What is making me this lack of purpose in my life? Like, what is going on? So, um, yeah, be smart about it, and just be also kind to your body and your mind. So at the end of the day, so
was that was that one of the points you were gonna say? Remember at the beginning where you were like, "I have a secret kind of tip that." Was
yeah,
that
no, so I
was
haven't
one of
even
those?
got to that yet. That was actually my
Okay.
first point, but I'm gonna get right into that as well. So what I did, I'm gonna explain actually this at the start, but I did this technique in Europe when I was on the train. I was experiencing signs of burnout, and it wasn't necessarily from work because I was on a trip for pleasure. But I was constantly changing locations and planning places to be, like hostels and hotels or whatever it was. And I when I was in Europe, right, I was just like at this standstill, and I realized on the train I was like, okay, I need to think of something that I need to do. And so this activity, I want you to close your eyes. You will, the listeners, whoever it is, unless you're driving or operating a heavy machinery or walking in public or a lot of things, that might require eyesight. but okay, think about this. Ready? So remember back to when you were a little kid and you were in a happy place. Remember what you were doing, what activity or thing or person or whatever it was that made you happy, right? And for me, while you're thinking, I just want to tell you a little example that makes me happy. What I can remember is painting back in elementary school, and I was surrounded by a lot of friends and classmates in like fifth grade. That is crazy to say, but that's what I think about. I'll give you about like 5 more seconds just to think. All right. If you haven't got it, just pause the episode or whatever it is. Will, you're screwed. You're out of luck. But
Damn it.
anyway, in that moment, I remember I just couldn't stop smiling and thinking about how much art really let me express myself. And it sounds kind of dumb, but like when I was a little kid, I was just so excited for art class. Um, and now you can open your eyes, obviously. Sorry if you're still closing them. Hopefully, you're not on an interstate or something. But
Damn.
okay. This next part is important. But so that what you found in that last step, when you are feeling those signs of burnout, make time to do that activity. Call that person, find that memory, whatever it is to ease your mind. So, for example, like Will, if you don't mind sharing, if you thought of something, please tell me now.
Um, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think of anything
That's okay. That's
because
okay.
I was honestly, I don't even know why I was thinking of everything. I low-key was thinking of how this would be listened. I kind of just removed myself from the
That's
episode
okay.
and I was listening to how you were instructing this, which
Well,
was good.
this sounds like
Um,
a generic answer, but like maybe back in the day you loved Legos, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to use Will as an example. So, um, when you're feeling burnt out, stressed, overwhelmed, whatever it is, maybe think, hey, like, let me maybe buy a Lego set, or like, let me like talk to my mom about like back in the day how I played with Legos, whatever it is, just to get like a smile on your face and get yourself out of reality for a second. And so the reason why I bring this activity into like this whole episode is because, like I said, I was on the train in Europe. And when I was in Europe, I actually didn't have the availability to like um, paint or whatever I wanted to do, like I imagined as a kid, right? But I picked up running out in Europe because that was one of the other things that I could think about when I played soccer and just loved that. Um, but immediately when I got back from Europe, I picked up painting and reading immediately. And it helped me so much mentally and physically, I will say, to just rest and recover. And I think that is one of the biggest things to focus on when it comes to burnout, and just finding a hobby that recharges you. And yeah, and again, I know that you didn't really come up with one, Will, but um, is I was gonna ask, like, how would that help you if you felt that close to burning out? Like if you were to call your mom, talk about Legos, or build a Lego set when you're feeling burnt out, like do you think that would help you in a positive or a negative way?
I definitely think that would have helped out positively. It's a really good like method. I never thought about that. Like if you're burnt out from your current kind of life situation, you just zoom back and just go back to being a kid, just to rest and recover mentally from what you're doing. Obviously there's, kind of a lot of privilege in that, just because like some jobs are so intense and like demanding that you're not always going to be able to step back fully. But I definitely like that would have definitely helped, to just building a Lego set, because you're right, I was so into Legos as a kid. Really good method. I really didn't expect you to like say that. I didn't know
Yeah,
where it
well,
was going, but it's a really good. I mean, that makes sense.
well,
To
basically, what I'm trying to get at is our brain is kind of stupid, and when you distract it, right, like you can like get away from that burnt out feeling, and giving your brain a break like that, even though you're still awake and doing an activity, it's something that you really enjoy, and have good memories about. So I feel like, yeah, that is a huge technique that I've always used, and especially in Europe, I hit it, and it when I after a run in Europe, right, I genuinely felt 10 times better because everything about me was smiling. Everything, like it was just a whole different demeanor about me myself. So, um, yeah, use that at home.
That's good. I think the only hard part about doing that exercise is when you are burnt out, you are so not wanting to do anything that even like there were some days where I was so burnt out, I even just the thought of like I just turned so pessimistic where it's like, oh, Lego set. Ugh, I have to figure out how to get to the store because I don't have a car. Ugh, I have to buy something. Ugh, I have to like there could be which again is why surrounding yourself with people would be essentially like number one. Because someone could maybe if you heard that exercise and that could help someone else, I know that would be a massive help if you like did that either with someone or you like kind of did that sort of for someone, like you offered them kind of like a helping hand, because that's the only thing that I could see being like difficult about that. It takes more self initiation to like stop, pause, take a breath, look back on what you did as a kid and maybe enjoy a hobby.
Yeah, I figure, I mean, it does sound like you said, it could be definitely difficult, but in that moment when I felt those symptoms, I was just like, hey, can I just think of a good memory to like get my mind off things? So it wasn't necessarily like I was feeling like I didn't feel like I was putting energy into it necessarily, but I was more
Okay.
like actually really happy when I was thinking of my past memories and when I was drawing or painting in elementary school, which is so random, but for whatever reason your brain just like takes a vacation and thinks about something happy, and I think that is a very important thing, especially if you're alone, because maybe you don't have somebody to be around 24/7. So yeah.
Facts. Well, if you're gonna listen to one thing throughout this episode, remember that I feel like it's really important that burnout is a phase. I think with technology, it makes it feel like time is super super long because people post every day, every hour, every minute, so it feels like things become dated very fast. No, even if you were gonna get burnt out of your career or your passion or whatever for 10 whole fucking years, you can make it out the other side. Now that's a long fucking time, and that's like an insane example, and that will feel like hell, and it is so long, but it is
Bro's
a
acting like he's not
phase.
24.
Not
10
yeah,
years
you're right.
old. That I low-key young to me, but whatever.
What? No, 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 no. Like 10. No,
No,
no, no,
I
not
know what
like.
you meant, but 10 years out of my life is less than half. So I see it as, hey, it was just 10 years, you know?
Okay. Well, either way, it's a phase. Um, it's just a phase, mom. I'll get through it.
Just a phase. I just put makeup on my eyes because it looks cool. Sorry, mom. Jeez.
Remember, care what people think, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week on 182.3.